Mr. Bagga, let me come to you first. Where were you when 26/11 was taking place?
Yeah, my wife, Rajita Kulkarni, and I were at the Taj at the Masala Craft restaurant. One of our friends, a German member of European Parliament, was visiting with a big parliamentary delegation. And India had a very narrow escape because that whole bus of the parliamentarians got delayed at the Bombay airport. They wanted to meet some Bollywood personalities, so they went towards Juhu instead of coming to the hotel. And by the time they reached, the attacks had started. Our friend came earlier, and she's a very senior German politician. We were just starting dinner at about 9:25, 9:30. 9:30, the first firing started. And I just looked out and I saw somebody shooting into the Golden Dragon restaurant, which is about 30 meters from where we were. And luckily that door, it used to look like a steel wall, and there was no latch inside. I just tied up the door with, the napkins, the tableware, and people were not ready to move. We were telling there is shooting outside. Our friend had been in a terror hostage situation in Sri Lanka earlier, so she was well trained. That lady, she told us this is now becoming a hostage situation. She called the German embassy everywhere. And so we were then hiding in the kitchen. Vishnu, both sides, there were people killed. On the right was the Shamiana 24/7 coffee shop. And on the left was Golden Dragon. There, nobody survived. Everyone was killed there. We were providentially safe in Masala Craft. And then after 2 hours, the hotel moved us to the chambers through the basement area of the staff entrance. We were moved out to the chambers, and we were there. About 200 people were there. Unfortunately, a politician gave a media interview, and he said 200 CEOs and very senior people of Mumbai are trapped here in chambers, and we want to be rescued. And this was live on media. And there the call came कि हिंदुस्तान का वजीर है फंसा हुआ है चेंबर्स में तुम चेंबर्स में जाओ. And they came around 3:30. They entered chambers and opened fire. Just then, Vishnu, our evacuation had started from the fire escape. One old lady fell down. I bent down to pick her up, and I told Rajita that we'll not push. People were pushing and running down. I said, we'll not push. We'll wait for our turn. We were in the line, and then all of a sudden in front of us, there was nobody alive. One Taj staffer turned, and that saved our life. He took bullets in his back. And we hid in a conference room lying on the ground for the next about 7 hours. And through the night, he was crying. And we had nothing but aspirins and whatever people had in terms of painkillers. There were 2 doctors with us. We tied up his wounds as well as we could, but he made it to hospital, but he did not survive finally. But actually, we saw people, a line in front of you of human beings, and then all of a sudden, there's nobody left. All were killed. So that was the thing. And then NSG came at 10, and as we came out, that was the footage you showed yesterday. As we came out, they started firing from the upper floors. So whole night they tried to break into the chambers. There was one commando who kept firing back. So, their firing was AK-47s, 56, very heavy firing and machine gun firing, while our side was a small tick, tick sound would come. One policeman with a revolver was guarding us. And we were all lying down in the lavender room and the other conference rooms. 5:30, I thought it's over, because huge smoke started coming in. They were throwing grenades from the top to try to break the building. And very heavy smoke came in. We couldn't breathe. I thought it's over because there was a flimsy door between us and them. But somehow God was kind, and we made it out by 10 o'clock.
Have you been able to deal with what you went through on that day? Does it keep coming back to you?
It does. A lot of board meetings happen in chambers. I was a member of the chambers, so I had to go back in a month I went through the entire route that we had taken right from Masala Craft through the basement, the staff entrances, and to the chambers. And we went and hugged all the employees who survived. A lot of Taj employees gave up their lives to save us. They were led by Hemant Oberoi, who was there yesterday on your show, Vishnu. And I think two or three things stood out. NDTV, I have special affection for. Shivnath was there, and Shivnath Tukral was outside. And I was in touch with him. He's a good friend of mine. And throughout, I was taking Justice Somashekhar. He used to be a lawyer at that time. Now he's a High Court Justice. And he was guiding us. He said, don't try anything foolhardy. Don't move around. Just you lie down. And, when the Marcos came, I mean, the information was very poorly, disseminated. So all media, my brother was seeing in London, and he said Marcos have the Navy commandos came in, Vishnu. They cleaned up the old Taj. They went into the old Taj, and then they were withdrawn. And media was flashing, it's over. And I told my brother, and then he got in touch with Shivnath, because by that time we were lying down and these guys were outside. So he told Shivnath that there is a big contingent in chambers. So I think those mistakes were made. If the Navy commandos at least had stopped these guys from moving around the hotel, going room to room and killing people, that happened in Oberoi's. Oberoi shut down the lifts immediately. And, one very remarkable story was there, that there were two commandos of South African army who were here for IPL security. They were in the Lebanese restaurant at the top, Vishnu. They evacuated the entire restaurant down the fire escape. They got everybody out. Hindustan Levers had their board meeting. I had just met a couple of them. And their entire who's who of Unilever worldwide was there in the ballroom. They were all quietly evacuated. So wherever there was some training, I'll give you a small example. Both Rajita and I worked in foreign banks. All our Japanese colleagues, Vishnu, when they check into a hotel, they first go down the fire escape. Because of the earthquakes in Japan, they are trained for that. They take rooms near the fire escape. I would laugh at them. What are you doing? What is happening? He said, no, we have to be ready. As a culture, we are not ready. We didn't know really what to do. And but for the Taj staff that day, and some heroic policemen, and finally the NSG coming. But it was so delayed that at about 9:45, 10 is when NSG was banging on the door. And we didn't know if it's the terrorists pretending to be NSG or it's really NSG. And then they said, stand back, we are breaking through. They had to break the door because we had tied it up with all the tablecloths. There were no latches in any of the doors. Because of service, the waiters just push it with the elbow or the leg and go through.
Right.
So there were no latches.